Light is from Callie Marie. What's going on, Bishas? Welcome to the Daily Swole podcast, episode 2660 dose. It's Sunday, August the 20th, and Callie writes, I went from living a very active lifestyle in my high school years to getting pregnant at 19, having my first child at 20. That is where my weight gain began. About 6 months after having my first child, I met my now husband and became complacent and lazy. I guess I just became comfortable. I had gained weight throughout the years, and in 2012, we were trying to conceive. With no luck conceiving, I lost about 20 pounds, then I got pregnant and gained more weight. I think I was about 215 pounds at this point. After having my son in 2014, I only gained more weight. At my heaviest, I was about 250 pounds, and mind you, I am 5'3". Finally, about 2 years ago, just before my 28th birthday, I was fucking done. I was done being overweight and extremely unhappy with myself. Y'all, I couldn't even bend over in my car to pick something off of the floor. I was miserable. That's when I decided to make a change in March of 2018. I have since then dropped about 80 pounds. I started working out full-time 4 days a week about a year ago. My weight loss has kind of slowed down since I have been building muscle on top of trying to lose fat weight. But I started watching Papa about 4 months ago and have loved all of his videos, calling people out on their shit and keeping it 100%. That's what I do, fam. He's even made me realize some of the shit that I've been doing. I am extremely grateful for how far I have come and looking forward to how far I can push my body. Well, Callie, you get a round of applause. No doubt. That's a great story. And a lot of you probably have similar experiences where you had, 5, 10, 20 years of ups and downs going through this with pregnancies or struggles of gaining weight, losing weight, gaining it back. But those little things in your life, not being able to pick something up off the floor or on the floor of your car, not being able to bend, not being able to twist, those are things that sometimes might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. You go to bend and pick something up and you're just like, why am I out of breath? Because I had to pick up 2 things off the floor. That's no way to live your life. And especially once you start making changes, you start losing extra body fat, you start getting more mobile, you get rid of those pains. I always say this, that's probably one of my favorite things when Swole fan members start writing in or they get certain results, they say that their pain goes away. I think that's the most satisfying thing for me. Losing fat is great, getting more definition is great. But when people tell me that they used to have chronic pain or bloating or really discomfort or migraines or poor sleep, when someone says that their back used to hurt for years and now it doesn't hurt anymore, or their knee was bothering them for 10 years and now it doesn't bother them anymore, that shit really makes me excited because you get used to that low level pain all the time. You get used to that chronic pain running in the background like an app on your phone. And once you don't have that, all of a sudden you have a clarity that you never thought possible. So that's fantastic. I really love the post. Callie, thank you so much. I'm sure everyone can drop some biceps and gorillas in the live chat. For Callie, we have a lot of people coming on into the live stream. Anthony Cerny, Charisma, what's up, Loretta? How we doing? Space Shuttle, Matt the Great, Joe, what's up? De la Junior, Jen, how we doing? Jen, JV over there. Hopefully you are staying dry out there in California. So welcome to the fam, Callie, and congratulations on all your progress. You've been a member for a while, so congratulations on continuing to be honest with yourself. So she said at the end there, Papa Swolio, that's me. He's even made me realize some of the shit that I've been doing. Even when you're making progress, sometimes you just don't realize that, I'm still perpetuating a lot of bad habits. I still have a lot of room to grow, which is great. That should be something optimistic. You shouldn't beat yourself up for not having done stuff to this point. That should be something positive. And some people start the elimination diet. They start seeing a lot of changes right away that they never had before. And they're like, oh my God, all I do is give this up 5 years ago, 10 years ago. All I had to do is give up Diet Coke. All I had to do is stop, blah, blah, blah. Well, you can't go back in time. You can't change the past, but you can change your habits moving forward. And that's all it is. That's what consistency is. That's what discipline is. It's just executing on those habits. So create better habits. And if you have purpose behind what you're trying to accomplish, there's a reason behind it. If you're just trying to, something superficial, trying to do something because you think other people will like you more, or you think you should do A, B, and C, do it for yourself. Do it for yourself. Do it for the future you. In the future, if you want to have more muscle, if you want to be more mobile, if you want to have less pain, if you want to have more energy, what would that person do? What would someone that is healthy and has more energy, what would that person do? They would follow the 7 pillars, right? So think ahead. Think about the person you would want to be and then do it. Think about what person you want to be and then do what that person would do. And then you'll become that person. It sounds kind of out there, but it's just logical if you think about it. What would the future you do? If the future you is on point, if the future you is muscular, if the future you is lean, if the future you can climb a mountain, no problem. What would that future you be doing? How would that future you, how would that person cultivate those skills? There you go. All right, fam. Thank you so much for being here. Let's give a round of applause again for Callie. If you want to join Callie and myself and all the members of the Swole fam, join us, swolenormousx.com. Today is Ask Papa Swolio Live, so we're just taking questions today. We got some calls, and we'll take some live questions. It's going to be fire. Tomorrow is our world-famous Swole fam accountability meeting at 12 noon Eastern time. So be there, 12 noon Eastern time, inside Swolenormous X. We will go live like we do here inside the Daily Swole Telegram chat. We'll have private Swole fan posts. We'll have private member Q&A, and we'll have some new releases for you. So join us tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time. And let's get ready. Everyone lube up. We're about to go hard today. We got some questions. I hope they're good. I hope they're good. You never know. You never know. So without further ado, check all the links in the show notes down below. Hit the thumbs up button if you are listening on the audio cast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Take a moment, leave us a 5-star review. It helps tremendously. And subscribe, all that good shit. Now let's get into today's episode, Ask Papa Swolio Live 2662. The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
There's nothing wrong with my body. Fat is not a dirty word. If my body tells me something, I will make sure it is heard. If my body is a vessel, I will give it what it needs. I will not betray my body, no matter what they think.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Swolenormous.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testicles. Ooh. Welcome, everyone, to episode 2660 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gaincast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, bustas, hustles, and yo-hos? It's your boy Papa Swolio back with another episode. Today's episode, the Beastcast, is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everston K2, flexing on all you beaches.
It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
We should get that new intro. We should get like a new intro screen where it says, all right, lube up, let everyone know, because we get that knowledge cock in the pre-roll. So if you're just tuning in now, don't forget, we do a little Swole Fam spotlight in the intro, in the pre-roll, while people come into the live stream. So make sure you replay that or go listen on the audio podcast, whatever. But it's awesome. I love featuring these posts, and we're going through tons and tons of posts that have come in throughout the years and throughout the last few months, and some more recent, some a few months ago, some even longer, but just awesome Swole Fam posts and stories of people that have joined the Swole Fam and started crushing it. So definitely go and check those out. Definitely gets me amped. definitely gets me amped for the podcast and shares some more awesome stories. I know we do Swole fan posts when we get into the episodes during the week. Not today, because today we have Ask Papa Swolio Live. So let's give a round of applause, little America. Today's Ask Papa Swolio Live. So we're just taking questions. So without further ado, let's bust the nut open. We got a great Swole card. You can drop your questions live in the chat, hashtag Ask Papa Swolio, and we're going to jump right into it. Let's summon the Falcon, get today's party started. Are you ready, Beaches? I think you are. Falcon. Put some respect on it. All right. USA. Hashtag Swole Privilege for a chance to win today's Swole card. Hashtag Swole Privilege. It is Anabolic August, so we're just bringing in more love. Anabolic August is bumping. I love Anabolic August. Look at the tainty man. And we have the tainty man. Let me zoom back out. Look at him. Look at him. And of course, we have the church. So if you got questions, drop in the chat. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. Let's get into a couple questions. What we got here? Let me move that over. Very nice. All right. We'll get into a call or two in a second. But let me see. Johnny Munoz 710. I'm not sure if we went over this yesterday. I might have stopped short of this one because we did some questions yesterday. Papa Swolio, what is a good starter workout for someone new? Full body, I need to go to the fucking gym. Damn right you do.
Yow.
Well, you know, what matters is that you're training intensely, you're learning how to do it properly, and you're building over time. So what's a good starter workout? One exercise per body part. You just need to make sure you're doing it properly. So there's so many. Just remember, when you're exercising, you're creating stress so that your body adapts to it. So if you've never worked out before, any workout is going to cause stress. So to be honest, it really doesn't matter what you do. It really doesn't matter what you do. What matters is that you do it properly and you don't do too much. So I wouldn't recommend going to failure. I would recommend having someone that's experienced show you some basic movements. Depends also what you have access to, whether it's free weights, whether it's machines. But I would do a pushing movement. I would do a pulling movement. I would do a pushing and a pulling movement for the lower body, something with a hip hinge, like something learning how to do a squat properly or using a hack squat machine properly. So it really comes down to who's teaching you, what your activity level is. If you're brand new, you've never done anything and you're morbidly obese, that's going to determine what you do, just as well as, let's say you are a high school athlete, but you've never lifted before. That's different. You're more athletic. You're more able to push and to maybe do some more, I want to say advanced, but do some different movements than someone who might be more immobile. So it really depends. But there's a lot of good options. The most important thing is you want to build consistency. You're not going to build muscle in the gym and you're not going to get results from one workout. So the whole idea is you're trying to plant a seed. So think about that. If you're planting a seed, you have to make sure you have the right soil, the right fertilizer, and you need to water it. You're not going to have a plant right away. Whatever you plant, whether it's a tree or a shrub or whatever it is, you put the seeds in, it's going to take time for it to grow, even when you water it and you put effort in. Same thing with working out. It's going to take you a while to build that momentum and for your body to get past the shock and the holy shit, what the fuck was that? until it starts adapting. So consistency is important. If you go super hard and do a ton of volume and you essentially injure yourself and you cause trauma, you're not going to be able to work out again soon. So let's see. Matt the Great, how can you focus on the man cast when you have those cute puppers laying around? That's a good point. That's a good point. You look at the puppers and you're thinking, how can I do this while he's laying here and I could just go and bite his cheek or nibble on his belly? Let me nibble on your belly, buddy. Rufus, fire, save me. Rufus, help. He's out. At least the church is right here. I can just come over here and get a little love on command. Whenever I want, I can just grab her a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Space Shuttle. Let's take a live question, then we'll get into a call. Papa Swolio, at what point would you say a person has committed a crime against humanity when it comes to cooking steak? I say past medium rare. Yeah, I think I said that yesterday. I think I said yesterday, or whenever we got that steak question. If you cook past medium rare, we're not friends. So I would agree. Look, the food's already dead. It's been killed. It's not alive anymore. You know, it's already gone. It's already not living and breathing. You don't have to kill it twice. So I agree. I agree with that. Past medium rare. Oof. And you know, sometimes when you're cooking it, sometimes it happens, right? Sometimes you overcook. You're like, ah, shit, I overcooked it a little bit. If you cook it properly, you can still go a little bit for, you know, if it's moist, but you don't want to intentionally ruin steak. De la Junior. Papa Swolio. Hey, Papa, it's me, the Amazon driver. Where's my fucking package, bro? Your package has been delayed. Where is it?
Where is it?
Okay. It's me, the Amazon driver. It's been a while. Just wanted to ask, now that I'm going to the fucking gym consistently, how can I find the energy to go even on the days when I work? Well, it depends on how many days you work. I would do it first. You're not going to have energy after a long day of delivering packages, running around, especially in the heat and stuff like that. So respect. That's not easy. It's not easy. It's definitely not working in a coal mine, but you're out, you're sweating balls off in the back of a truck that probably doesn't have air conditioning, I guess, depending on the truck that you have. But now that you're going to the fucking gym consistently, what's your schedule like? I would still say go first. And some people work really early in the morning. So I do get it. If you have to be there at 4 o'clock, I'm not saying go to the gym at 2 and go to sleep at 2 p.m. But maybe on days when you work, you do yoga or yin yoga or mobility. Yeah, Barrett says I work in an Amazon warehouse and I do light mobility work after my shifts. So it depends on your schedule. So if you're going to the gym 3 or 4 days a week and then you work 3 or 4 days a week, you could do mobility on those days and then train and lift heavy weights on the days you don't work. That's a good consistent thing you can do. Because after a long day of running around or doing work or sweating your ass off, I personally wouldn't probably feel like lifting. So I would go first in the morning, super early, or after work is a great time to do mobility or yin yoga and meditation and stuff like that. You work 4 10-hour shifts. So you can lift heavy weights 3 days a week and do mobility and stuff on the other days. And maybe one of those days, if you feel like you have energy, you can go first and maybe get a workout in. But you can do great with like heavy lifting 3 days a week and add mobility in those other days. What are the 10-hour shifts, though? That makes a difference. Is it 8 a.m. to, try to do math, 6? That would be 10 hours. Or is it, depends on what the hours are. Because if you're going in at 4 a.m., well, I understand why you wouldn't train before that. Just thinking. Okay, let's take a call. If you want to call into the show, you can do this anytime. It's not just for today. You can go to askpapaswolio.com and call into the show. We got a call here from Deb. Deb, you're on the sleaziest sleazecast in the realm. It's also the greatest mancast in the realm. So.
Hi, Papa Swolio. Thank you very much for everything you do for this community. I'm depressed. I'm taking medication to be better. I used to work out 5 times a week. Now I can barely go out and do just yoga twice a week. And I'm very sad. I don't have the energy to work out. I would like your advice and knowing what can I do. What would I be able to do to push myself a little bit harder. I don't want to be too hard on myself either, because my mind doesn't let me. But is there any advice that you can give me?
Sure. Oh, I'm not sure what you meant by your mind doesn't let you. So you're waiting for the result without doing the first part. So I do understand your situation. But what's important, and the reason why you asked this question, is because you're going to get an objective opinion from someone outside, outside your, your life. So from my perspective, from what you told me, you're waiting for the energy to want to go out to work out. Okay. You're waiting for the energy. That's like the book or the movie or whatever was The Secret. If I write this on a wall, maybe I'll have it someday. If I put in the universe, I'm going to get it. So that's not how it works. You're actually going to get energy by going to the gym. You're going to have more energy by eating healthy, getting quality sleep, getting sunlight. So I don't know what your other habits are, Deb, but the food is very important. The people that you surround yourself with is very important. Getting early morning sunlight on your eyes, getting up first thing in the morning and going for a long walk would be fantastic. Do it in nature if you can. If you're in a city, I get it, but hopefully it's not a dangerous neighborhood, but getting outside in the sun. Nutrition is very important. Quality sleep is very important. Cold plunging, cold showers, very good for mental health. Sauna is fantastic too, but cold therapy is fantastic. So that's an option for you. But I would make meditations fantastic, and understand that it's not like you're going to feel like meditating. It's not that you're going to feel like going to the gym. You need to force that momentum. So you have to do it. The term is binary. So binary is computer code. It's 101101. It's like Morse code, but a sequence of certain ones and zeros means something. So 1 or 0 is pretty much the situation. You did what you needed to do. You went to the gym and you worked out, or you didn't. So you're going to have to force it. You have to go. You can't make excuses. And if you're waiting to feel like it, you're going to be waiting forever. This is why you're in this situation, is because you are leaning on your feelings. And I'm not saying, people always jump down my throat when I talk about depression, but it's really a result of your habits. And people that cycle and go deeper and snowball this effect. Because what happens when you stop feeling like doing something, then you do it less and you feel worse, and then you feel bad about yourself for feeling worse, and then you feel even worse, and then eventually you're on medication, and then you feel like, and then you label yourself as someone who has depression, and then you just can't get out of it ever. But really you have to force it. So when you realize that you're never going to feel like it, it's irrelevant if you feel like it, that your feelings are liars. Your feelings are bullshit. They're going to come and go. You're going to feel in a good mood. You're going to feel in a good mood sometimes if you let your feelings and you don't have control. Your feelings are going to, you feel good. Some days you're going to feel kind of bleh. Like I felt kind of like stiff. Like, should I work out today? I don't know if I wanted to work out or just do some yoga. I did some mobility. I'm like, just fucking do it. I had a great workout. I did it. Even I have to fucking just, all right, let me just do it. Let me just jump in the cold water and then I'll go train. I feel great. I'm so glad I did. I had a great workout. It was awesome. You have to force it. You have to force it. You have to do it. If you're waiting to feel like it, you're waiting to feel like it, but you will feel like it when you keep doing it. And it's irrelevant if you feel like it. When you take that out of the equation, because language matters. Language matters. Language matters. So if you're waiting to feel like doing it, you're not going to. You don't have that habit. You're not creating that habit. Habits don't happen by themselves. They happen with you executing. What's your task today? I'm training. Do you have to lift weights every day? No, I'm doing yoga today, or I'm doing this, but you have to, it's non-negotiable. It doesn't mean don't recover and just lift every day. No, just do yoga. That's your training, but do it. I don't feel like it. No one cares. And that's the thing, Deb. And that's not to get you bummed out, but it's true. Life doesn't care. The earth doesn't care. Nature doesn't care. The universe doesn't care. Most of the people in your life don't care. You have to care. That's it. No one's going to save you but yourself. And this might not be a pick-me-up answer, but it's as real as it gets. And there's nothing to it but to do it. And when you create that consistency, guess what? You're going to create everything else is going to become more even keel. You create the habit of training, eating right, sleeping, doing all these things I'm talking about, the 7 pillars. It's going to keep you more even because you're having that bullseye. Sure, you're going to fluctuate a little bit. But if you execute consistently, you're going to be better across the board. And I am not a fan of meds. I'm not telling you to go off your meds. Anyone listening, I'm not telling you just to stop your meds cold turkey, because some things are fucking hardcore and it can really fuck you up. But that's not the answer. It's just not. Medication's not the answer, especially for something that's in your mind. It's really, really not the answer. And you don't sound far gone. You don't sound like a lost cause. You just sound like someone who has to get out from under their own bullshit and start getting it done. You sound like you need to love yourself. You need to invest in yourself. You need to objectively do these things regardless. Get that feelings thought out of your head. Stop leaning into your feelings. Quite the opposite. Lacey, when I was down, let's get some responses. Let's get some opinions on that. So much love, Deb. Feel free to call back in if you have any other questions or following up. Lacey says, when I was down, I went in and did specifically just what I like to do. No rhyme or reason. Let's see. Cerny got off mental meds by changing what I ate. Let's see. Matt the Great, just go each day and do 1 set of squats or any exercise to create that habit of going. Do that every day for a week or 2, then add a second set or a second exercise and slowly build. That's a good way to execute. Saying sometimes doing what I don't want to do is such a good feeling mentally. Yeah, you overcame a challenge. I didn't feel like training today. I felt kind of stiff. I felt kind of like, oh, sun was out, it was kind of cloudy. Just felt kind of like meh. But that's also a reason. No. That's a sign. You need to fucking do it. So I warmed up properly. I had a great workout. It was awesome. I didn't do a lot of volume, but I went hard. I did it. Feel great. Back on top. That's how it works. Saying again, waiting for something to change is like waiting to have a partner to travel. Just do it regardless. Cerny says, watch taking those meds. Sometimes they make things worse. Happened to me. Yeah, Deb, I hope you're listening, Deb. I hope you join the Swole fam. Join us. If you can, join us. We'd love to have you. Surround yourself. And that's probably the most important thing that I hadn't mentioned yet. We don't know. Deb didn't say in the call, but what's her community like? What's pillar number 1 for Deb? Who's she surrounding herself with? What's in her environment? What is her environment like? Surround yourself with amazing people. And if you don't have amazing people in your immediate circle, which you probably don't, which is why you're calling in, please join us. Barrett says, I came to the conclusion a while ago that I would hate myself no matter what I do, so I focused on self-improvement and I slowly built healthy habits, and I'm addicted to executing and making progress. Now, there is something to be said for being hard on yourself. I wouldn't say necessarily hating yourself, but like, oh, you could do better, and oh, you know. Sometimes I'll do a set and I'm like, oh, you fucking pussy, put some more weight on the bar, and I'll do another one because I realize I kind of pulled out before I should have. But also having that desire and knowing you could do better and kind of berating yourself also pushes you to do better. So it has to be a healthy way of doing it. But turn that into a positive. Turn that into something that generates that drive forward. Let's see. De la Junior, Papa. Not a question, but just wanted to say that even though I'm not officially part of the Swole fam yet, let's change that, brother. Even just banging my ear holes with the knowledge cock every day while I work has already changed my life for the better. Thank you. Well, thank you for sharing, dude. I'm glad you're enjoying the girth.
Because chickens?
Love it. And hopefully that changes soon. We'd love to have you. But we also like having you on the live stream regardless. We'll get into another call in a second, but let's get B Cross 310 in the house. Workout for the best titty pump. Nice.
The little rascal has spirit.
Get the titty pump. Well, it depends on what you're trying to accomplish, because a pump isn't what builds muscle. A pump is just sending blood to the area. So you could do a lot of high reps, not to failure, and get a great pump. The idea is, are you creating the stress that's going to stimulate growth? And that's what's important. Are you progressively overloading your body? Are you doing a couple extra reps? Are you doing the same amount of reps with a little bit more weight? Quarter of a pound, half a pound, 2 pounds, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever the exercise is. Is there more overload? Remember, when you're training, you're creating a stimulus. You're subjecting your body to stress. You're subjecting your body to a shock, to a stimulus. If that stimulus is more than last time, then guess what? With proper nutrition and sleep and recovery, you're going to build to get stronger to handle that that new resistance, that new stress, that new stimulus. So are you just trying to look good temporarily? Because a pump is transient. It's called transient hypertrophy. So you'll look, but when I'm training, like I look big and the muscles are pumping, I'm tight, I'm like, oh, this, but that's not what's getting me big. What's getting me big is that I did another 5 pounds for the same reps, or I did another extra rep with the weight I did last week. So I did a little bit more stress than last time. I eked out a little bit more than I did last time, which is by default a little bit more than last time, whether it's weight or repetitions. It's more with a given weight, or it's more weight for the same amount of reps or so. It's an increase in shock. It's an increase in stimulus, which means my body is going to be forced over time to match that, to adapt to that with proper recovery. So there is no workout for the best pump. You can get a sick pump just doing push-ups. But is that going to get you big muscles? If you've never done push-ups before, over time, it can. But, if you really want to build a ton of muscle, you're going to need to take the overload higher. That's why people just don't do push-ups to build muscle. You can definitely build muscle doing push-ups. But you're going to have a plateau. It comes with limits. All right, Space Shuttle. Door Gunner. This guy's just popping off rounds here. Papa Swolio, at what time point in our society do you think we started to decline nutritionally? At a party 3 weeks ago, people were shocked my 3-year-old wanted veggies over sweets. It's like health is taboo to people. At what time point in our society? Probably when the Federal Reserve was created, like in 1913. Right when we started, just like the currency started inflating and we're able to just print money at will, everything just degrades. Society just degrades. You can point to 1971. We went off the gold standard. That's when things really ramped up. But, this type of immoral capitalism. Now, capitalism is great, but when you have government, okay. So a lot of this stuff like soybeans, corn, these garbage food products, they're subsidized by the government because it's not worth enough for these farmers to make these monocrops. Destroys the soil. There's worthless products. But when it's subsidized by the government, then these farmers can make a profit. But again, it's like, it's not really capitalism. It's more like communism. We need to actually have more true competition, and we just need smaller government. We need the government to get out of these fucking industries. So anyway, I don't want to go down too much of a rabbit hole, but it was kind of, over the past century, there's a lot of different things that led to these points. But especially when people started, like Ansel Keys back in the, 50s or 60s, started demonizing this whole war on fats, replacing tallow with vegetable oil and soybean oil and corn, canola oil, all these different things that's when things really ramped up. But I will say, just to tie up that question, it's a really good question. It doesn't really matter so much as to when, but the fact that we're here today, but it does help in knowing how we can unravel it. But back in the, I don't know, it was the 30s, but it was the 40s. I remember the often referred to, people that know, the father, quote unquote, of sports medicine was this guy, Hans Kraus. And I remember reading his books. I had them. I don't know where I put them. I might want to try to buy them again. But he was reporting because he was traveling. He was in Europe and stuff like that. I forget if it was in the 40s or the 50s or the 30s. It was old school. And he was already saying how Americans were fatter, lazier, kids were sicker and more overweight and less active than the children in Europe. And he was saying how the children in Europe would run faster, throw a ball farther, blah, blah, blah. Because even though we didn't have TVs everywhere, it was like radio. It was just, this country was already more sedentary than other countries. And it's still that way today. So it's a lot of marketing. It's a lot of marketing. We're one of only 2 countries in the world that allow pharmaceutical companies to advertise, United States and New Zealand. And of all cable, it's 75% of all ad revenue. So you wonder why everyone's pushing experimental drugs down your throat. Well, it's because that all these news outlets and all the media outlets, they're literally funded by Pfizer and the pharmaceutical companies. So it's this combination of these loopholes and these laws that allow major corporations to be like an individual in donating to campaigns, and pharmaceutical companies allowed to push their drugs into lobbyists in fucking millions and millions and millions of dollars lobbying to Congress and senators and stuff to pass laws and to perpetuate this disastrous system and the sick care system and these hospitals, which are just hotels for sick people. Like, these companies only make money when you're dying. You're getting medication, they're making money. You're healthy, they make no money. You're in the hospital, they make money. You're not in the hospital, they make no money. There's no incentive for you to be healthy. So that's why you have to take it upon yourself. That's why you have to follow the 7 pillars and take action and stop looking, oh, doctors are fat phobic. They're telling me to lose weight. One, the entire system isn't there to get you healthier. If you're at the doctor, that's the problem to begin with. If you're looking to the doctor to give you advice on how to be healthy, you're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place. And again, like I always say with people, like, they're weighing me at the doctor's office. If you're at the doctor so often that, and you get weighed so often at the doctor's office that it irritates you to that extent, then you are not asking the right questions. Like, why the fuck am I in the doctor's office all the time? Because you eat like shit and you're a goddamn Honda Odyssey. You're a full-sized, like, SUV. All right. I'm ranting. We can keep on going. Good question. Lacey, what would you focus on to build speed and explosiveness? In what sense? I mean, there's a lot of things with bands and reaction, in terms of like powerlifting, in terms of, you know, cleans and sandbag work, using like resistance bands are fantastic. Kettlebells are, I mean, there's a lot of great tools for it. I don't really worry too much about athletics and performance in that sense. But if you could be more specific. Like, you know, there's box jumps and there's depth jumps and there's all sorts of plyometric moves, but it depends on what you want the outcome to be, because that starts to get more sport specific. So if there's a certain move that you're trying to do. Let's see here. Jen, it's crazy how doctors don't prescribe diet and exercise as a way to fix your mental health. Taking care of myself pulled me out of my horrible PPD after my son was born. Those meds are such bullshit. Yeah, I agree. Matt, Swolio, you mean the news station that's sponsored by Pfizer might be biased? Maybe. Just maybe. Maybe.
Attacks on me, quite frankly, are attacks on science.
Andrew, what cut of bacon is your preferred cut, and how do you like your eggs? Sometimes I like them over easy, winking at me. Sometimes I like a little soft scramble, or had a couple raw yolks in a little shake after I worked out. So that's how I like my eggs. Mama Swolio makes amazing eggs. What cut of bacon? We get pasture raised heritage pork bacon. I don't know what cut. I guess it's like, isn't bacon pork belly? For the most part, it's just like sliced pork belly. That's what I get. Let's take another question. We'll get some more comments coming through. We could follow up on some of the questions that were just asked. Let's take this one from Nate. Nate is calling into the show. He wants some knowledge cock. Nate, you're on the line.
Hey, bro. I was just wondering, how old are you?
Oh, that was deep. That was deep. I am 40 years old. Hit that. Wow. Just turned 40 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks of being 40, and I'm already more swole, making some sick fuck gains. I've had great workouts. Now, once it was my birthday, I fucking went hard. Had a great workout to close out my 30s, and I've just been fucking crushing it. So a good start. We're off to a good start. Off to a good start. All right, let's get some more. Pixel Gabs. Papa Swolio, what's the optimal timing for workout, morning or night? We've answered this many times, but I'll do it again. If you could train at either time, I personally would train earlier in the day. You could do yoga at night and meditation at night, but I personally wouldn't lift heavy weights at night. So if you can, if it's a choice, I would work out in the morning. So it's really up to your schedule and when you perform best. But a lot of times, if you've never worked out in the morning, you start, it might feel a little groggy or a little like rocky around, training on empty stomach or something like that. But you get used to it. So. Alright. Let's see. Mas. Alex Utzu _1K. How can I burn calories at home? Well, you're burning calories all the time.
Matt Damon.
All the time. Right now, I'm utilizing calories. You never really burn calories. So that term is kind of stupid. We all say it sometimes, but I mean, you're using energy. Calories are units of energy. Now, a calorie is not a calorie is not a calorie. So anyone that tells you a cookie is the same as a steak, it's 200 calories of cookie, 200 calories or 200 calories. That's probably the stupidest thing that anyone can say. It's absolutely not true. That's why that if it fits your macros is retarded. It's retarded. Your body processes different proteins and different nutrients and micronutrients and different inflammations. It's crazy. It's nonsense. So you're usually using energy. So a calorie is a unit of energy. A calorie is the amount of energy required to raise what 1 gram of water or 1 kilogram? I think it's 1 gram of water, 1 degree centigrade. So it's like, oh, that's what a calorie is. Okay. People think a calorie is like a thing. Like, oh, I ate these calories, like little calorie munchkins, like minions, and they're like, yeah, calorie. Ooga booga. A calorie is a description of energy. Okay, how can I burn calories at home? We'll leave that there. Trace the Wolf Raven. There's a lot more than a trace of underscores here, I'll tell you that much. Papa Swolio, don't you need cardio to have a heart? What? 'Cause without a strong heart, the muscle mass is useless.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
All right, Trace. Thanks for the question. I'm just trolling you a little bit, but I stand by the soundboard. Don't you need cardio to have a heart? Well, I mean, Lizzo has a heart. The only one that doesn't have a heart is the Tin Man. Tin Man don't have no heart. So in other words, okay, let's answer this. Yes, cardiovascular capacity is important. I think doing cardio and cardiovascular training is important. But people think that cardio is a way to get in great shape. And when I say great shape, I mean great shape. People use that term as like healthy. It's great shape. No, I mean great shape. Like you want to have fucking shape. You want to have muscles. So again, to improve your fitness or to get in great shape, like what does that mean? We have to get on the same definition. Definitions are important. So without a strong heart, the muscle mass is useless. I don't even know what that means, dude. What do you mean? What do you mean? A lot of people just do cardio and think that they're going to be muscular and lean. Doing cardiovascular training is good, but you don't have to do crazy fucking marathons or CrossFit training and shit like that to have a healthy cardiovascular system. You know, you could do high intensity training. You could do intervals on an elliptical or a Stairmaster or running stairs. And you can do, it doesn't have to be for a long time. You just need to get into those higher zones of cardiovascular output. Like I'm just saying, people that want certain physiques, they just beat themselves in the ground with cardio and they don't lift weights. They don't eat properly. So anyway. It doesn't always have to be like lunatic, lights out cardio. You could just going for walks, just, is great too. So again, it depends on what you're referring to. Yes, I think people should have cardiovascular capacity. But of course, if you're doing tons and tons and tons of cardio, yes, it will affect your ability to build muscle. It straight up will. If you're doing tons and tons of cardio and you're doing intense cardio, yeah, you're not going to be able to build as much muscle. You're exhausting yourself. You're draining yourself. But lower intensity, longer duration, treadmill work, walking outside, doing some sprint intervals and stuff like that. Yeah, it's very beneficial. Just make sure it works in with your programming. What are you trying to accomplish? So everyone has different goals and everyone's training protocols are different. What are you trying to do? There's a reason why marathon runners look skinny. It's because you're not going to be able to carry a lot of muscle mass if you are trying to, work aerobically at that level. Lizzie May, Osh 9. Papa Swolio, need advice. Ooh, all right. All right. We're getting on Papa Swolio's love couch. Here we go. All right. Need advice. Been dating this guy and I don't know if he likes me. Oh, this is getting intense. He hasn't texted back in a week. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Probably the right thought. If he really, really likes you, he would text you back. Texting sucks for fucking relationships. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about him. Now, this is a question on Instagram, so I don't have all the context. I want to know, you've been dating this guy. I need more context. I want to know, did you put out already? You banged him, didn't you? You banged him. You gave up the nookie. And he bailed. All right, so yeah, not a good sign. Look, I never believed in don't text back right away and wait. I don't know. I haven't had to worry about that since I met Mama Swolio. But I think all that game playing and wait to text back, and you don't want to be up someone's ass. But if he hasn't texted you back in a week, we don't have all the details. It's really just vague. We're just speculating, just talking shop. If he hasn't texted you back, it's like, don't text him. Ignore. You've been dating this guy. What does that mean? Right? What does that mean? Dating this guy for what? A couple dates? 6 months? 3 months? He hasn't texted you back in a week. You text him back last. What were you talking about? Like, we need more details. Yeah, just move on. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. We're only getting one side of the story, and we're only getting a fraction because it's Instagram. So can't really tell. Can't really tell. All right, young Kratos. Young Kratos. Papa Swolio, how long have you been working out? I've been training really hard, seriously, for 22 or 23 years. All right, let's see. What else we got here? Biciada W Brasili. Papa Swolio, any thoughts about jiu-jitsu? In what sense? So any thoughts? I don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. I think it's great. I think martial arts are fantastic. And I think jiu-jitsu is probably the most useful one. I mean, there's jiu-jitsu, there's Brazilian jiu-jitsu, there's, of course, judo, and there's a lot of other different sects of jiu-jitsu and sub-disciplines and stuff like that. But most fights go to the ground, so having a ground game is very important. So if you're really trying to navigate a combination, it's great to have some experience in striking and then, of course, grappling. So boxing and jiu-jitsu, or Muay Thai and jiu-jitsu, or stuff like that. I mean, judo is great too. Because, with judo, you're doing a lot of leverage, a lot of throws and tosses. And when you're on the mats, and I know this because Mama Swolio's brother just got his judo black belt yesterday. He's a multiple degree in Niseido Jiu-Jitsu. So anyway, that was yesterday. So bottom line, when you're doing judo, you're doing a lot of throws and stuff like that. On the mats, it's one thing. But if someone doesn't know how to fall, you do one toss, they're going to break their fucking spine if it's a concrete or it's a hard floor. Like, they're done. And the whole idea is to get the fuck away from a situation. Someone grabs you and you grab their jacket and flip them over, get the fuck out. You're not sitting there and be like, what? And they pull out a knife or a gun. So, I mean, you throw someone on a mat, okay, you know how to fall properly. Yeah, you get up and do it again. Boom, it's nothing. You throw someone that doesn't know how to fall and they hit the floor, something's breaking. It might be their head, their neck, their fucking hips, or their leg. So, anyway. All right. So my thoughts on it, like, I mean, again, it's like in context of what? All right. SKO4 period X. Great name. What to do other than gym and diet for quick weight loss? Nothing worth having is quick. So get the idea of quick out of your mind. Start focusing on the right habits. Go to swolenormansx.com, download the 7 pillars. Start there. Ishahawar 1010. Papa Swolio, what to do if I cannot do a single push-up? Practice. Do negatives. Put a pillow under your chest. Lower as slow as you can. And do partial range. Drop your knees. Go back up to the top. Practice negatives. Do them from your knees. You could do them on a bench with your body straight. And as you get stronger, you can lower or do them on books and then lower the books until you can do a full pull-up push-up. It's practice. I don't like doing push-ups from the knees. I think that's stupid. I just said it as like a way to get up to do the negative. I would do them with your body straight and just do them against an elevated surface. That way you're not pushing directly against gravity. So it'll take a lot of your body weight out of the equation, but keep your form and strengthen all the stabilizer muscles to keep your body straight. Kent Clark. My dad did jiu-jitsu, but he was weak as fuck. What's the point? There's a lot of great benefits. You're strong in different ways. Remember, you're using body leverage and many other factors in order to, submit an opponent. A lot of discipline, hard work, loyalty, respect for the human body and for what you have inside yourself. But you can lift weights. Doesn't mean if you just do jujitsu or martial arts, doesn't mean you don't lift weights or you can't do stuff. That'll help. But you guys will know that anyone that practices martial arts, you can have someone who's much smaller than someone else and, crush them because of the skill, especially like wrestling and things like that. However, the whole idea is self-defense and other methods, other methods of training and confidence and things like that. But if you're in the real world, no matter what your size is, if you have some skills and the other person doesn't, like it's game over in many ways. Like you're going to be able to handle it no problem for the most part. Of course, size makes a big difference, especially if you have someone else that has skills or more strength. So that's why when you have competitions, you have the same weight class, right? You're not going to have someone who's like 250 pounds, jacked, and like a black belt wrestling someone. You have two black belts and one person's much, much, much bigger. It doesn't necessarily guarantee, but yeah, for people with the same skills, you have more size and you have more weight and more mass. Yeah, you're going to have advantages. But if you have someone who doesn't know what they're doing and knows nothing, and you have someone who's, a fraction of the size, but exceptionally skilled, then it's not going to take long. Is jiu-jitsu and martial arts better than yoga? It's completely different. Completely different. I did Taekwondo. I mean, I'm no expert in all this. I mean, Taekwondo doesn't seem to me, from what I've seen, it's no like real world application. It's just a lot of kicking and stuff, which can be cool, but it's not really functional. Because the whole idea is you're not going to want to perpetuate a fight. You want to get out of the situation. You want to run. You want to leave the situation. So if you have the ability to get out of the situation, to toss someone or to move them or to submit them or to, you slam someone on the ground, you fucking get out of there. They're fucked up. Or you're on the ground wrestling, you break their arm and you get away. They're going to be screaming, get the fuck out of there. The whole idea is not to confront and to exacerbate and accelerate the situation. And one thing I do know, like anyone that I spend time with that practices martial arts, like really, really good people. Some of the other questions. I think we're about wrapped up. All right, that was a good place to end it. Good place to end it. Very nice, fam. Very nice. All right, we have a Swole card to give away. Swole privilege. Some of you dropped that in the comments. Let's give that Swole card away. A reminder, tomorrow we have our accountability meeting at 12 noon Eastern time. Join the fam today, swolenormousx.com, and be there for the accountability meeting, Monday, August 21st. That's tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time. Swole privilege. We got a winner, Mr. Tony Toner. Congratulations. All right. TT. All right. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 2662 in the subject. Your mailing address in the body of the email. Congratulations, Monsieur Anthony Tonnet. Anthony Tonnet to the main stage. Anthony to the main stage. All right.
I'd be the luckiest guy alive if that did it for me.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Well, I could be wrong, but I believe diversity is an old wooden ship that was used during the Civil War era.
Now, once you've had sex with the woman, she will naturally start to depend on you, okay? All women do this.
Well, thank you so much, fam, for being here. Another amazing episode. Great questions today. I hope I answered all your questions. I do love getting them, and if we missed anything or if there's anything open-ended, just be there tomorrow for the accountability meeting. We'll follow up. We'll answer more questions mañana.
There's Tiny Tuck, Typical Tuck, Total Tuck, and the Tyrannical Tuck.
That was for Space Shuttle Door Gunner. And Shane. And Shane.
fucking people.
Sam! Sam! Sam!
Emotional damage.
Loud noises!
Oh yeah.
The eyes, Chico. They never lie.
Shut up, bitch.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Coast to coast. Ooh. Nailed
I
it
gave
again.
it a 10. A 10. A fucking 10.
All right, fam. Thanks for being here. Let me crank up this hog. Ooh. All right. Thanks for being here. Episode 2662 in the books. And we'll be back tomorrow for the accountability meeting. And then, of course, here again on Tuesday for Tainty Tuesday. We'll get back to our normal, regular scheduled programming. But I guess it's technically every day because that's what we do as a Swole family. We make sick fucking gains every day. So thank you so much for being here. We'll see you tomorrow for the accountability meeting, 12 noon Eastern time. Don't miss out. SwoleNormousX.com. Join us. And we'll see you there. Peace, my geese. Deuce, my goose. Your boy, Papa Swolio. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no ollies, you children.